the work with Show Racism the Red Card and this project in particular is working to get people to understand what hate crime is. So examining the boundaries between what young people think of as banter and what's actually a hate crime, and what can have a really powerful and lasting, meaningful impact on people on the receiving end of that.
No.
A little bit.
Small bit.
Yeah, a little bit. No. I'm not totally sure.
The NUT, the National Union of Teachers, is immensely proud of our relationship with Show Racism the Red Card. I know that this is a long-term project. Show Racism the Red Card's been now going for 20 years. And of course it is a shame that we still have to be doing work on racism. One would have hoped that in a civilised society we would have got rid of it by now, but the fact is we do. We need to keep on working against racism.
We always look for external agencies where we can get information from and ask them to come in if they can support our students to get the best knowledge across to them.
Used to live next door from me, and he was from Sweden. Some people were just horrible to him, taking the mickey out of his skin colour and his culture from where he was from. It just wasn't very nice.
I think the one thing that I wanted to take from today was getting a clear definition of what is a hate crime and what is bullying and where that distinction lies. I think it's been very clear how now we can differentiate between the two and then deal with it in different ways.
Although we deliver the sort of follow-on education, but really to have somebody in who's an expert in the area.
And they're useful organisations.
Totally.
I've just been thinking in a different way about what hate crime is and how we can step in when it happens and not just to stand by or just to brush the kids away and say, oh, don't worry, it'll be okay. It's important to take action, I think, when even if the minor things happen.
I'm going to hopefully bring out the idea that hate crime is illegal and that there will be severe consequences to that, which I think will help the students really understand what they're saying and the consequences behind it.
And teachers and anyone who engages with young people, so that would obviously be footballers and football clubs, have to be at the front of doing that work. And I'm very proud of what we do with you. I'm particularly proud of the way that colleagues who work for Show Racism the Red Card have done work with our young members and trainee teachers, because frankly, in training to be a teacher, there's not enough focus on equality issues and in particular on doing anti-racist work. So it's something of which I'm very proud, and I think it's very good work.
It's education. It boils down to education, and you know, my mum, even though I was experiencing stuff like that, my parents said at the end of the day, people are people. They shouldn't be judging people based on the colour of their skin.
Stigma, this whole issue of racism, is just not going to go away until, you know, we really do embed that in the lives of young people.
I think it's absolutely critical that Show Racism the Red Card is engaged in work against hate crime. And of course, you know, I know that the work of Show Racism the Red Card, as indeed the work of the National Union of Teachers, has been against racism in all its forms, whether that's Islamophobia or anti-Semitism, or indeed whether it's homophobic bullying and so on in schools. All of these things are very important.
a big fan of showing racism, the red card is, you are changing our country for the better. You're changing the way people behave, you're changing the way people act, you're changing the way people think by the work that you do.